Hello and welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And welcome to this month's closed test unit. As usual for our closed test, we have a short article for you about an interesting topic.
Here's the fun part. In the article, there are some missing words or phrases, so it's your job to pick the right word or phrase to fill in the blank, so it's like a puzzle.
But don't worry, you have a few things to help you to do this. First, you have 4 choices to pick from for each blank space so that these can, help lead you to the right answer.
And we will also be here to talk about each of the choices and explain why one of the answers is the best one. So what is our article about this month, Mike?
Well, Rainbow, we have a very interesting article for everyone about how to tell the age of your dog.
Oh.
Yeah, you know that old rule that says 1 dog year is equal to 7 human years?
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard that. So a 5-year-old dog would be around 35 years old as a human, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what?
What?
That might not be true.
What?
Dogs are obviously very different animals from humans in many ways.
Yeah.
So it really shouldn't come as a surprise that their bodies also age or get older in different ways from humans too. Well, we'll find out all about it in today's article, but first, let's check out the new vocabulary that we will be using in our closed test.
Nuts. 有养狗的同学都知道，狗的年龄算法和人类是不一样的。大多数的人都认为狗的年龄是人类的年龄乘以7，但现在科学家有不同的算法。我们今天一起揭晓。首先来看几个单字，第一个 dozen 一打12个是个名词。Ben bought a dozen eggs from the supermarket. Ben bought a dozen eggs from the supermarket.Ben 在超市买了一打鸡蛋。第二个单字 human 人类的是个形容词。Kindness is a human quality. Kindness is a human quality. 善良是每个人有的人格特质。第三个单字 equal 相同相当于是个动词。100 centimeters equals 1 meter. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter.100公分等于1公尺。第四个单字 reach 到达，岁数年满是个动词。Charlie has almost reached the age of 30. Charlie has almost reached the age of 30. Charlie 差不多达30岁了。好了，我们现在看完单字例句，一起来看课文。
How old is your dog? Most dogs live a dozen years before they die.That's 84 in human years. However, scientists now believe that 1 dog year doesn't equal 7 human years. For them, a dog's aging process doesn't follow this common rule of thumb. When dogs are young, they age really fast. So, a 1-year-old dog is similar to a 30-year-old human, and a 4-year-old dog is like a 52-year-old human. When dogs reach 7 years, though, they age slower. As a result, a 12-year-old dog is more like 70 than 84 in human years.
Explanation 1.
So, as you can see, the title of the closed test article is How Old is Your Dog? And the article begins by saying, most dogs live a dozen years before they die. Yeah, okay. Dogs usually live for an average of about a dozen or 12. A dozen is 12 years.
Okay.
Like humans live an average of about 80 years. Sure, you can find people who are 100 years old or older, just as you can find dogs that are, 20 years old or older. But that is rare and unusual, and most dogs still live to be around 12 years old.
And if we sort of change those dog years to human years, then let's see, how old would that be? The next sentence says that's 84 in human years. Sure, 84 is considered old, just as 12 would be considered old for a dog,
But, and here's where we get to the new thinking and ideas about dog years. The article says, however, blank now believe that 1 dog year doesn't equal 7 human years. Okay, here's the first blank space in our article. So, we need to fill it in with a word or a phrase. But don't worry, we have 4 options there to pick from, so let's go and see what these options are. We have A, pianists, B, engineers, C, mechanics, or D, scientists.
题目的意思是，然而现在的空格认为狗的1岁并不等于人类的7岁。这题在考我们4个名词的用法。选项 A 是 pianists 钢琴家，选项 B 是 engineers 电脑工程师，选项 C 是 mechanics 机械师，而选项 D 是 scientists 科学家。根据课文，应该是要表达科学家最近有了一个新的想法。他们认为狗的1岁并不等于人类的7岁，因此选项 D scientists 是最符合语义的，其他选项都不符合。And so the full sentence should be,
However, scientists now believe that 1 dog year doesn't equal 7 human years. Yes, that's right. And like many new things in science, new research, new discoveries, these are all showing that what we thought in the past might not be totally true.
Yeah.
As it says next in the article, for them, a dog's aging process, blank, follow this common rule of thumb. And our choices for this blank space are A, don't, B, does, C, doesn't, or D, do.
好，我们先来看一下单字 aging 就是老化的意思 process 则是过程，所以 aging process 放在一起就是老化的过程。再来看的是片语 rule of thumb 经验法则，题目的意思是对他们来说，狗的老化过程空格依照这项估算通则。所以这题在考我们助动词 do 和 does 的用法。我们看到题目的主词是 a dog's aging process 为单数主词，因此用于复数主词的选项 A 和 D 可以删除。接着前面读到科学家现在认为狗的1岁不等于人的7岁，因此可以得知对于科学家而言，狗的老化过程并没有依照这项估算法则，所以根据语义，这题答案要选否定用法的 doesn't C 选项。And once we put the right choice into that space, we get the full sentence, which is,
For them, a dog's aging process doesn't follow this common rule of thumb. No, it's clear that this isn't exactly true, is it? Now, it's easy to remember that a dog year is the same as 7 human years. You know, we use this to compare how old a dog is to a person. Yeah, but it's not really true. And so next we find out one of the reasons why. So we read, blank, they age really fast. Now here, our blank space is at the beginning of the sentence, and as we look down at our choices, we see that we have A, after the animals die, B, when dogs are young, C, until they have an answer, or D, while dogs are with their owners.
题目的意思是空格老化的速度相当快。选项 A after the animals die 是指在动物死亡之后。选项 B when dogs are young 当狗年幼时。选项 C until they have an answer 直到他们有答案为止。 其中的 until 表示直到什么为止。选项 D While dogs are with their owners 当狗与主人在一起的时候，我们可以用 with one's owner 表示和主人在一起。根据上下文题目的意思，当狗狗年幼时，老化的速度非常快，因此最适合的答案是选项 B When dogs are young. And now that we have picked the right phrase to put at the beginning of that sentence, we plug it into the blank space and that gets
When dogs are young, they age really fast. Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Dogs are a totally different kind of animal to humans, so I guess we shouldn't be too surprised by this, should we?
No, and when you think about how quickly a little puppy grows up to be a normal-sized dog, yeah, that makes sense as we read in the article. So a 1-year-old dog is blank, a 30-year-old human, and a 4-year-old dog is like a 52-year-old human. Wow, it's pretty clear that this is a big difference between how humans and dogs age, but we do have a blank sentence there that we should probably fill.
Yeah, definitely. And so our options for this one are A, similar to, B, familiar with, C, full of, or D, interested in.
题目的意思是，所以1岁的狗空格30岁的人类，而狗4岁时如同人类的52岁。这一题是在考我们片语的用法。选项 A similar to 和什么相似，近似于。选项 B familiar with 对什么感到熟悉。选项 C full of 充满什么。选项 D interested in 对什么感兴趣。课文前一句提到幼犬老化的速度相当快，因此1岁的狗近似于30岁的人类。其他选项对什么感到熟悉、充满以及对什么感兴趣，语义都不符合，所以我们答案要选 A similar to. And after putting the right answer in the blank space, we get this full sentence.
So, a 1-year-old dog is similar to a 30-year-old human, and a 4-year-old dog is like a 52-year-old human. Okay, so now the difference between human ages and dogs' ages are much easier to see, right? Now, if we'd used the old way of thinking, that 1 dog year is equal to 7 human years, then a 1-year-old dog would be like a 7-year-old person, and a 4-year-old dog would be like a 28-year-old person.
Yeah.
But science says this isn't the case.
Nope.
Okay, well, it's time for our break, but we'll be back to finish things off soon, so don't go away.
Explanation 2.
And we are back. So dogs and humans are very different in many ways. That much is very clear. And this also includes how their bodies age.
Yes.
Now they grow up, that is, dogs grow up much faster than humans. And that kind of makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
Out in the wild, dogs would have to get big faster than people because they have to run and hunt other animals, right, to get food to live. But humans, well, we have parents and we have families to help us find food and also to keep us safe when we're little.
Right, and humans also have to learn many more things like how to walk than dogs do, so it just takes us longer to grow up.
Yeah, how to walk, how to talk, how to do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Our brains are much bigger. But then as the years go by, things start to change. As we read next in the article, when dogs reach 7 years, though, they age slower.
Oh, okay.
So you might think that if a 4-year-old dog is like a 52-year-old human, like we read earlier, then a 7-year-old dog would be really old, like a 70 or 80-year-old person, right?
But apparently that's not how it works. The next and last sentence of the article says, blank, a 12-year-old dog is more like 70 than 84 in human years. And when we have one final sentence, actually we have one final set of options to look at for this final blank space.
Yeah, and those final options are A, at that time, B, as a result, C, for a while, and D, in no time.
题目的意思是空格，一只12岁的狗较像是人类的70岁，而非84岁。我们先来看选项 A at that time 在当时，选项 B as a result 因此，选项 C for a while 一会儿一阵子，选项 D in no time 很快的。课文前提到狗狗老化的速度会变慢，因此12岁的狗狗应该相近于人类的70岁，根据前面的原因而造成的结果。所以最适合的答案要是选项 B as a result. And with the correct words in the right place, we get this as the final sentence, which is
As a result, a 12-year-old dog is more like 70 than 84 in human years.
Wow.
Okay, so for a dog, its later years last much longer than ours. And if the dog stays healthy through those older years, the dog can have a long and enjoyable old age. That's not a bad deal for our four-legged friends. So there you go, folks. It seems that dogs have a totally different way of looking at time than we do. But whatever age your furry friend happens to be, give them a hug and a little doggy treat from us and a nice scratch right behind the ears. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like that. Take care of each other, and we'll see you guys back here sometime soon. Until then, woof woof. I mean, bye-bye.
Woof.
How old is your dog? Most dogs live a dozen years before they die. That's 84 in human years. However, scientists now believe that one dog year doesn't equal 7 human years. For them, a dog's aging process doesn't follow this common rule of thumb. When dogs are young, they age really fast. So, a 1-year-old dog is similar to a 30-year-old human, and a 4-year-old dog is like a 52-year-old human. When dogs reach 7 years, though, they age slower. As a result, a 12-year-old dog is more like 70 than 84 in human years.
The Adelaide Town Hall is an iconic landmark in Adelaide, Australia. The clock tower is part of the downtown area on King William Street. The Albert Tower bells ring during important moments in the history of the city. The Adelaide Town Hall was built between 1863 and 1865. The clock was added later in 1935. There are a bronze statue of Queen Adelaide and art galleries inside. All kinds of events, such as meetings, gatherings, concerts, and other civic and cultural events, take place at the Adelaide Town Hall. The design was the result of a contest held by Mayor Tom English back in the 1860s. If you want to see a famous band perform in Adelaide, this is probably the best place.
Here is more information.
Landmark. The Eiffel Tower is the most famous landmark in Paris. Purchase. Michael purchased his clothes at the shopping mall. Exhibit. There will be an exhibit of Chinese paintings at the museum next week. Attract. Put the food away, or it will attract ants. Crowd. A big crowd went to the festival. Complex. We live in this apartment complex. Centerpiece. Mom used flowers to make a centerpiece for the table. Organ. Mandy plays the organ beautifully. Fan. Sports fans like to watch soccer games. Conference. I will attend the conference tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 又到我们1分钟的单元喽。那我们今天是用1分钟的时间来复习4个单字，还会造4个例句。同学们，您都准备好没？1分钟计时开始。第一个单字呢，它可以用来表达1打12个。那这个字叫做 dozen， 我们可以用 a dozen of 什么什么来表达1打的什么，你也可以用复数型 dozens of 什么什么来表达数十个的什么东西，好几打的什么什么，像是 there are dozens of books in the box， 箱子里面有好几十本书，很多打。OK， 第二个单字是当形容词来形容是人类的，这个字叫做 human。The students learned how the human body works in biology class. 学生在生物课的课堂上学习人体的运作方式。第三个单字呢，它可以用当动词用来表达是等同于什么，相当于什么，这字叫做 equal， 它也可以形容是平等的。OK，2 plus 2 equals 4， 2加2等于4。第四个单字呢，它当动词用来表达到达，可以表达年满多少岁，这字叫做 reach。Kyle wants to get a tattoo when he reaches 20. Kyle 想在年满20岁的时候刺青。好，再念一次。Kyle wants to get a tattoo when he reaches 20. Kyle 想在年满20岁的时候刺青，一定要想清楚这件事，不要随便轻易的尝试。好，那不管怎么样，我们还是要多多复习这些单字，复习我们课程，这样才不容易忘记哦。我们下次见，拜拜。
See you next time.